It's a crisp winter night in Southern California. The moon, pale and silent, hangs high above the quiet suburban streets of Orange County. In a peaceful town known for its gentle rhythms and middle-class charm, nothing seems out of place until the unthinkable happens. A phone call shatters the stillness, igniting a chain of events that would stun the nation. Blaze Bernstein, a promising 19-year-old University of Pennsylvania student, is missing. His family, friends, and the community are about to be thrust into a world of heartbreak, suspicion, and chilling truths. At first, it seems like any other late-night disappearance, a young person lost with no clear answers. But the story that unfolds will prove that even in the most serene of places, darkness lurks. Before we dive deeper into this chilling investigation, I just want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future uploads. We post true crime, suspense-filled stories every day, and each case is more shocking than the last. If you're new to the channel, be sure to catch up with our previous videos to immerse yourself fully in these gripping tales. Now, let's jump right back into the story. The story begins in Lake Forest, California, a small, seemingly idyllic city nestled in the heart of Orange County. Known for its well-kept homes and tree-lined streets, it was a type of place where neighbors waved as they passed, and the biggest excitement was a weekend barbecue or a Saturday soccer game. Blaze Bernstein, a quiet and introspective young man, was the epitome of this environment. A student at the University of Pennsylvania, Blaze was visiting his family during winter break in January 2018. His parents, Gideon and Jean, had raised Blaze with love and care, watching him grow into a bright and promising student. On the evening of January 2nd, Blaze arranged to meet his friend Sam Woodward in a quiet, secluded area of Borrego Park. It was supposed to be a casual hangout, perhaps a walk or a quick chat. However, this seemingly harmless meeting would take a deadly turn. Blaze had been known for his curiosity, his love for books, and his gentle nature. However, no one, not even Blaze's family, could have predicted that this routine meeting would lead to his disappearance, and ultimately, his brutal murder. By 9:30 p.m., Blaze had stopped responding to text messages. This wasn't like him. His family knew he was supposed to meet Sam in the park, but as the minutes stretched into hours, they grew concerned. Around 1 a.m., his family finally decided to call the authorities. Officers arrived at the family's home and quickly began their investigation. They noted that Blaze's phone was still on, but its location seemed to be bouncing between various points. Strange, considering Blaze had been expected to be in the park. In a panic-stricken state, Blaze's family began searching the park themselves, checking places where Blaze might have gone. Hours passed, and there was still no sign of him. The clock was ticking, and the search intensified. Despite the efforts to find Blaze, the police didn't yet have enough evidence to indicate foul play. They initially chalked the disappearance up to a typical late-night hangout gone wrong. But as more details started to emerge about the park itself, a popular but often desolate location, concern began to grow among the authorities. The next morning, Blaze's body was found in the park, stabbed multiple times in a horrific and brutal manner. With the discovery of Blaze's body, the investigation quickly escalated. A team of detectives was assigned to the case, and the entire community was gripped by a mixture of fear and disbelief. How could this happen in their quiet, peaceful neighborhood? Initial evidence pointed to the fact that Blaze had been attacked while sitting on a secluded area of a bench near a brushy ravine in the park. There were no signs of a struggle, but the brutal nature of the stabbing, several deep wounds, led investigators to believe that Blaze had been ambushed. As police started their interviews, the first and most obvious person to question was Sam Woodward, the friend Blaze had arranged to meet. Sam, a 20-year-old with a complex personality and a history that raised suspicion, became the center of the investigation. But things weren't as simple as they seemed. Sam had been a friend of Blaze for several years, and their bond was close. However, as the investigation progressed, inconsistencies in Sam's story began to surface. He told authorities that he had met Blaze in the park, but when questioned further, his answers didn't add up. Sam claimed he had left Blaze to walk back to his car when he realized he had lost track of time, but investigators couldn't reconcile his story with the evidence found at the scene. Sam Woodward quickly became the focus of suspicion, but investigators didn't have enough evidence to arrest him. However, They did begin digging deeper into Sam's background, trying to understand his relationship with Blaze. What came to light was unsettling. Sam had a history of making unsettling statements about LGBTQ issues. He had made controversial and violent comments on social media, including a post about killing someone who was gay. While these comments were not directly connected to Blaze, they were certainly troubling in light of his connection to the victim. But the investigation didn't end there. Surveillance footage from nearby stores showed Sam leaving the park around the same time Blaze's phone stopped responding. But his car had never been seen on camera. The police now had a glaring question. Did Sam have an accomplice? Or had something much darker transpired that night? The breakthrough came when investigators uncovered the contents of Sam's phone. They discovered text messages between Sam and Blaze in the days leading up to the meeting. Some of these messages were innocuous, but others suggested a more complicated relationship. Blaze had confided in Sam about personal issues, including his struggles with his sexuality and his own sense of identity. One message, in particular, raised the most concern. Blaze had written to Sam, telling him that he felt unsafe and that he didn't want to hang out with Sam anymore. It was the kind of message that would be easily overlooked if it weren't for the context of the relationship between the two men. Sam's messages, however, suggested that he had been angry at Blaze's reluctance to hang out with him. He appeared to be hurt by Blaze's comments, and investigators believe that Sam may have taken this personally, too personally. When police confronted Sam with the information they had uncovered, he finally broke down. Sam admitted to stabbing Blaze, confessing that he had killed his friend during a heated argument in park. But his version of the events was incomplete, and there were still many questions left unanswered. While Sam confessed to the murder, many questions remained unanswered. Why had Blaze, who had been a good friend to Sam, been killed in such a brutal and senseless manner? Could there have been something more at play? Was this a simple argument gone wrong, or was there a deeper, darker motive behind the killing? Some have speculated that Sam's violent tendencies, combined with his history of making troubling comments, suggested that he may have been capable of premeditated murder. But was this truly the case? Investigators were unsure, and the question of whether Sam acted alone lingered in the air. Sam's trial was fraught with controversy, and there were many who believed that the true story was still yet to be revealed. Some people questioned whether Blaze's personal struggles had played a role in the incident. Was it an act of revenge, or had Sam been struggling with his own issues that led to the deadly outcome? After months of investigation and trial, Sam Woodward was ultimately convicted of the murder of Blaze Bernstein. His actions were deemed to have been premeditated, and the jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. Sam was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But for many, the resolution of the case did not bring full closure. The questions that lingered were far more complex than a simple verdict could answer. As the years have passed, the story of Blaze Bernstein's murder has remained a haunting reminder of how quickly a peaceful life can be shattered. The unanswered questions about Sam's motivations, about Blaze's fears, still hang in the air. Could there have been more to this story? Could there have been more people involved than just Sam? The case may be closed, but the mystery of Blaze Bernstein's death remains one that many are still trying to understand. The murder of Blaze Bernstein remains one of the most chilling and tragic cases in recent memory. A young life was taken far too soon, and justice was served, but not without controversy. As we close the case on Blaze Bernstein, we're left with one haunting question. Was this truly the act of a single individual, or were there other forces at play that have yet to be uncovered? If you want to dive deeper into this mystery and many more true crime stories, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like and share this video to keep the conversation going, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Sam Woodward acted alone, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? We'd love to hear your theories. Thank you very much for listening. See you in the other one.